Hello to you and welcome to Adelante Chicago. I'm Lourdes Duarte. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bienvenidos. Well, the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute, or the USHLI, is one of the key groups organizing people to register to vote. It has roots in Chicago, but a nationwide impact, really. In just a few weeks, USHLI will host its annual conference, bringing in hundreds of students to the Chicago area. And joining us to tell us a little bit more about it are USHLI's Victoria Villalpando and Cindy Nava. Thank you for coming in. Always great to have you. It's one of my favorite conferences and segments to do with you because you really have an impact, not just here in Chicago, but I think nationwide. So I want to talk about the conference coming up. You've got a lot of political heavy hitters, as I call them, coming into the city. Run me through the list of who's coming in, and I'll start with you, Cindy.
Sure, absolutely. So we have, we're going to have some exciting forums and exciting members of Congress also joining, such as Congresswoman Deborah Haaland from the state of New Mexico, Congressman Raul Grijalva from Arizona. Who else, Victoria?
You said Joaquin Castro is coming
Congressman Joaquin Castro. We actually have, we'll be giving an award to Rosie Castro, who is the mother of the Castro brothers, and for her advocacy and civic engagement work throughout the years. So that'll be very exciting. Congresswoman Deborah Haaland will also be receiving the Trailblazer Award. And missing any?
Dr. Jose Angel Gutierrez, he is an icon in the Latino civil rights movement. He's going to be receiving the National Hispanic Hero Award on Saturday. So we're excited to introduce the living legend to our participants and for them to hear him because he is remarkable.
Yeah, and as usual, one of my favorites, Dr. Juan Andrade, will be there as well, who leads the organization. So that makes it worthwhile. Why is it important to have all these big known political names here in Chicago? What are you hoping this conference will accomplish as it has many other years in the past?
So this year our theme is Defend Democracy Aquí y Ahora, and it's actually a call to action. We want participants to understand that civic engagement is more than just political action. They can go out and they can do volunteer work. They can donate to a charity. They can do all sorts of activities that allows them to be part of their own community and to understand the moral and the civic arenas of that work while also engaging with their neighbors. So let's talk about these issues. Let's figure what that means.
And that doesn't always mean running for office, which is, I think, what people get stuck on sometimes. They think making a difference or civic engagement means you have to go to D.C. and make a difference somehow. That's not necessarily what it means or what you're trying to work on.
Correct. So one of our forums this year is the Art and Culture Forum, where we're going to highlight local artists that impact the community, that may sometimes have a political message behind their artwork, but we just want to emphasize that you don't have to be political to be civically engaged.
Okay. I want to turn to you, Cindy, because you just came to the organization about 6 months ago, you said. What is that like, and what are you noticing in terms of the impact that it has on a nationwide level?
Absolutely. So yes, 6 months here from the state of New Mexico.
Welcome to Chicago, by the way. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's getting a little cold, but I like it. I come from Santa Fe, New Mexico, so we get snow. But you know, it's been a wonderful time. Really, was recruited from New Mexico, and you know, I participated in the conference for the past 2 years as a speaker, and now as Chief Administrative Officer, I've been able to see the quantity of work that this team does. They are amazing, they're devoted, they're dedicated, and the impact that the organization has across the country is beyond what I could have imagined. I have been doing a lot of the student leadership series, so doing a lot of motivational talks across the country, and I can tell you that those issues are the same in those communities. When we talk about immigrants, and as an immigrant myself, I grew up undocumented, my entire life. So I know what that feels like. I know the uncertainty. I know what that means. And I think the organization reflects, we are, I think, the team, a reflection of the values of the organization. And that's probably one of the reasons that, I was brought on board, and I'm grateful for that. But I know that what we can do from here on forward will just be maximizing all of the work that has been done through the previous years, and the need is there. there's a desperate need.
And this is probably a very powerful year for you because there are so many issues and topics that are at a boiling point right now. When you talk about the border wall and immigration reform, how are you feeling about how those may be handled in the future? Are you feeling kind of optimistic? Are you still kind of have a long way to go? And I'll start with you.
I know one of the issues that we're tackling this year is the 2020 census. As an organization, we're spearheading a educational campaign here in the state of Illinois and across the country. So we want to make sure that our community is counted and that they understand why they need to be counted, not just fill out this government form, but that's one of the things that we're going to be doing this year.
Yeah, and that directly relates to all the stories that have been in the news about the border wall and the government shutdown and all those things.
Yes, and I think it ties into the whole notion of what does it really mean to be counted? So for us, there's a special messaging to talk about what does it mean to be counted in terms of representation. And when my background is in policy, so I know how important it is for our communities to be counted in terms of getting federal resources to distribute into those communities, and how that articulates the places of government officials being elected into office. So when we're talking about redistricting, are we having our voices heard? So all of those things will affect us if we are not counted.
One of the things that we're going to talk about in an upcoming segment actually today is this whole issue of, are you a citizen being included in the census, or potentially being included, because right now court said no, but it seems like the conversation is still ongoing. What impact do you think that will have on whether people decide to fill out that form or not?
Well, I mean, it's definitely something very concerning for our communities, and concerning in many ways, right? Because you cannot go out and tell people what to do or what not to do regarding the census, but you can be a voice of advocacy and a voice of fact. So if we are sharing facts, I think that's the best way that we can go to informing people, because it can, that can definitely divide our communities. That can undercount us severely, and we know that the people that would be undercounted would be communities of color, communities that are typically always marginalized and are always affected by these issues. So we know that it's an extremely large concern for us right now. And not only just in Illinois, I feel that it's the same issue across the country. Everyone is asking the question and no one has an answer. So we want to make sure that we are able to educate from what we learn. And as an official Census Information Center, we want to distribute that information to the communities that most need it in English and Spanish and other languages that we are able to do it in.
Let's get the information up on the screen on the USHLI conference that's coming up. That is February 14th through the 17th. It's usually at the Sheridan. Is that where we're doing it again this year? All right. And you'll see hundreds and hundreds of students come in for that conference, just a few days, being involved in some of the workshops and things like that. So we wish you the best of luck. Can they still sign up if they wanted to?
Yes, they can until February 8th. That is our cutoff this year.
And the website, give it to me one more time.
It's ushli.org.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much to the both of you. Wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay.